What's going on, guys? Duelum here, back again with another video, and today we have a special guest. It is Juicy, the god of Cosmic Crucible himself, the math whiz. How are you, Juicy?
What's going on? Doing well. Doing
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, if you guys don't know who Juicy is, I'm sure you probably already do. For those who don't, though, this is the guy who's in everybody's Twitch chat telling everybody what to do on every single fight. This man is the freaking encyclopedia of Cosmic Crucible. And me and him talk a lot behind the scenes, honestly, about how fights go, how speed works, and stuff like that. We've been starting to do it a little bit more lately as kind of hive binds come out and a lot of new things. And it's been fun because, like, dude, he's so smart, and we could talk about this game forever, which is why I love doing stuff with him, talking to him, and why we're doing a video now. So we did a video on his channel as well. So we're doing one on mine. We're doing tips for Cosmic Crucible for you guys to get better. So for those of you guys who don't know, Juicy is a mostly free to play adjacent, kind of some passes every once in a while kind of player. Rocking a 60 million TCP, and he's like top 25. He's in Grandmasters right now of Cosmic Crucible, which is absolutely nuts. And he's level 95 going against these diamonds and level 100s. It's ridiculous. And then for myself, I'm at kind of the middle to upper tier of Masters 1 with a 48 million TCP roster. So both of us deal with punch-ups literally every single day. Every time we look, we're like, all right, how bad is this going to be today? Juicy on a much higher scale, but me, I'm starting to work my way up there. So for the
well.
first tip, I'm going to play off of Juicy's tip of making a plan. Also making a plan and then revising the plan. So originally with round 3 here, I was going to do Eternals and I was going to do Undying here. And then as I looked at it and as I talked with Twitch chat, they realized, and we all realized, that we were playing the efficiency game here. Because this guy didn't have Super Scroll on defense. So we knew it was going to be one-shots versus one-shots and whoever scored higher points. So instead of doing Undying, which is, notoriously really, really slow, we put New Warriors here, which is really quick and took out, a 2.5 million rebirth super, super fast. Juicy, what are your thoughts on playing the efficiency game and kind of revising plans once you have them to make sure you got all the points you need?
Yeah, there's two sides of that. First of all, this goes back to just looking at your defense. Every single CC is my bonus on that would be, is there any team that is folding to Eternals super fast? So is my death. So if you're gonna get yourself into efficiency battle, like you can't have Death Seed on defense. You can't have like NA on defense. Even with NA Fury, it folds. If they know what they're doing, it folds like a paper, sheet of paper, and that's what you need to look at from a efficiency sense, right? If you're giving away 2024, 2025s, you cannot do that, or you will lose. You have to look at that, say, why is this happening? Unless they're doing something crazy, like they threw a scroll, APOC, and MOE all at it, and then they blew it up, then whatever. But a lot of the times you're gonna see somebody's like, did Eternals just blow up my team up? Did New Warriors come in there and just clean house? Like those fights, you just can't let happen. Um, especially if you're punching up, you can't let that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the biggest thing for like us in general is we're always punching up. So efficiency is always the way to go for us. That's why you and me are firm believers sus should be on offense, right? Because we're so high in brackets that we're always punching up and we need the flexibility of having Super Scroll on offense or we just don't have a chance. Because Super Scroll and four kind of B tier people make a whole nother team for you to take out a lot of stuff, which is really nice. Which brings to the next tip, like never giving up. So you can see my round 3 results here. You'll see I did one shot everything. This was really efficient. I had Sus and Eternals here. This one barely one shot. This one was okay. It's Pegasus and the Death Seed. This one was a little bit of a struggle. I misplayed it. And then this one shot, right? So I knew it was an efficiency battle, but I was like, you know what? I got bad efficiency here. So I did room 3 third. So I was like, you know what? From here on, I'm just going to focus on getting one shots because that's the only way I can win. I know efficiency is not going to win me anything here. So fight number 4 here, I did Pegasus here because I knew it was safe. My other option was the Eternals speed comp here, but there's some RNG. If Nick Fury gets targeted and the speed up gets ripped off, you lose. So my thought was just go for one shots and hope he failed because I knew the efficiency game was no longer on the table for me. And then lo and behold, It ended up happening. Black Order Quicksilver got me a win. So evolving your plan as you play based on what's happening with fights. Like if you dropped a fight or if a fight usually goes really well and it's not efficient anymore, you need to change your game plan because then it's like, hey, I'm not winning on efficiency. I need to play it safe in one shot now because I just lost 20 points in this room where I shouldn't have lost it. What do you think, Juicy?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, never give, especially when you lose. If you're playing a defensive meta, a lot of times when you lose, you never know. Like maybe your opponent's doesn't clear you either. Don't if you're not going to clear a room, don't keep your best team just to waste it. It's amazing how many times like I can go back and say, had I not given up, I would have won. I know I had one like that last week where I dropped 2 fights and then he ended up dropping 3, and it could have been very easy to just throw in the towel, say whatever. After because usually for me, if I don't go 6 for 6, I lose. So me dropping 2 is a pretty big deal.
No, absolutely. You got to know the game you're playing, and that's a big thing too, right? So like in my round one here, I knew he had sus on defense, right? So I knew he's going to be a little bit less efficient because he's not going to have that super scroll on offense. Because I do have super scroll on offense, and I know I can beat it efficiently. So efficiency wise, I know I'm going to be probably better than him. So I just need to efficiently one shot, and I'll end up probably winning. I did end up losing because I had a pretty big punch up here. Also, there's a running joke that my Superior 6 is defective. If you don't know, you'll learn. Just watch some videos on my channel. You'll understand. So lost a fight here, but it is what it is. It happens, right? They're like level 97, a 3-diamond Nightcrawler. Like some of these tunes are just nuts because of the level cap increase in the diamonds. But looking at their defense, right, you'll know what game they're playing at. So if they have sus on defense, you know that they're trying to get you to slip up, right? So they might not be the most efficient. What you can also do is if it's in round 2 or round 3, you can look at the rankings and see what they got in round 1 to see how efficient they were in round 1. Little stuff like
Mhm.
that can really help you. So you know if they won because they dropped 4 rooms, but their opponent dropped 5 rooms, you know that they struggle somewhere. And then you can kind of play off of that to your benefit to know kind of where they're scoring and kind of what game they're playing as well before you face them. Obviously, in round 1 doesn't help you because everybody's at zeros, but still, little stuff like that can really help you out. And then the other biggest tip is going to be knowing your roster. This is a really big one because if you're watching content creators like Juicy gave that tip in his video, you're not going to be able to use everything that content creators use. Even me as a content creator, even Juicy as a content creator, sometimes doesn't have what Dorky has built because he's got a 3-diamond Spider Woman. So he's throwing Spider Woman in there for a super quick ability block, right? I would never even think of doing that because my Spider Woman's like level 70, right? So you got to look at it and look at the diamonds and look at the differences and the punch ups so that you can apply it to your roster correctly and accurately so that you're not making any mistakes that are going to end up costing you just because you saw it work for somebody else. That's a really, really big thing. What do you think, Juicy?
So yeah, the one thing is the also there's and so when you're thinking about that too, um, whenever you get your initial seeding, always look at where you're at on your placement of 1 through 8. That'll help you know where what you need to do, right? Because if you seed and you're like 8th place, you almost have to almost distinctly say, I need to play a more offensive game. And if you seed number 1, then you could probably say, I can play a more defensive game and probably still win. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's important because I mean, for me, I haven't been anything but 8th in probably 6 months. I think I've been 7th twice ever. It's probably the same for you, but other people, if you're third, if you're looking at this and you start the rankings and you know how everybody's at zeros, if you're third or second, like you said, you have a bigger roster, so you might be able to put more on defense based on where you're at in that bracket. So kind of analyzing the bracket is a great way to do that as well. But let me see if I got any fights that were interesting to go into. This one, Juicy's not the believer yet. I'm trying to get him to be a believer on this, on using Lizard and Lizard and Vol over this. I'm a firm believer on this, especially when you're going into punch-ups because of the level cap increase. I feel like when you have Hela and Drax here instead, it just doesn't do enough damage. So for Lizard's going to essentially a pre-taunt because he's going to go first because there's Spider-Verse enemies here. So he will have that pre-taunt by the time the Super Scroll goes. and he'll eat the super scroll special if he even gets to go before your super scroll, right? If he doesn't, then also Ms. Marvel Hardlight's going to ult on your Lizard, and then the rewind only hits Lizard and whoever you put next to Lizard. I like having the Vol in here because it's extra damage for every assist that comes in, and Vol's damage is top notch. So it helps with those punch ups because it augments your damage more. Because obviously Drax ain't doing any damage, and Hela's not doing a lot of really good damage, even if she's big, because she's a little bit more kit based and Undying tied. So I've been using this counter a lot. I've really enjoyed this one, honestly. You could see in room 5 here, I did have a drop fight with Superior 6 against Extreme with Rogue. Obviously, this is a little bit of a punch up. I mean, it's like 700k. It is what it is. I ended up keeping it and then just cleaning up with Desi because it was super simple. He ended up one-shotting me, and he was actually pretty efficient with everything. So absolutely good on him. But you can see this guy's a 3 diamond Quicksilver. He's a big boy. And then in week 2, I got my revenge against Potato Head Fred. Once again, if you know, you know. Once again, the Echo Lizard comp here at 8367 just absolutely wipes a sus Thanos here, which is just, it's great. Like, this defense was the hot sauce for a while, and now it's just getting rolled. 2, if you're not using Eternals with Big Time's really good here to take the revives off Gamora and Nebula. Room number 3, Hive Mind is not good on defense, guys. Unless you have the Hive Mind 4-piece and Sus, it's not worth to put on defense. Period, plain and simple. It is not worth it. It's not good enough to stand up to anything. As you can see, in 8370, if you're giving that up in an efficiency battle, just like Juicy said, you've already lost. That's pretty much it. Same thing with NA here. New Warriors just absolutely roll NA. Even with the Fury. Fury will make Coulson go first, but New Warriors still rolls it. Superior 6 worked this time, 10 out of 10. And then MOE onto a Gamma, pretty straightforward. And then for round 3, this was a bigger punch up as well. You can see this guy was 97, I believe. So I used Superior 6 Echo here, went a little awry with the Echo dying. Here, I just threw Sus, Eternals, and 2 villains and just decimated this because it was a 2.5 million infestation. Room 3 was some pucker. My Doom got deleted by Thanos. This was rough. Juicy was watching this and was just like, gotta build that Doom, buddy. And I'm like, yeah, oh, I know. Waiting for miasma.
Yeah.
But this is a factor of having a smaller Doom. If my Doom was G18, this fight is an absolute slaughter. But I crawled and limped through this. Room 4, Pegasus on Desi, super straightforward. It was an 800k punch up, 760. So you can see this punches up massively. Room 5, MOE APOC. I played it wrong. It should have went better than this, but it still won, so I'll take it. Again, I was just going for I need to one-shot at this point because of how bad Room 3 went. And then Room 6, New Warriors on Rebirth. Again, a massive Rebirth, 2.5 million. But yeah, you got to know the game you're playing. You got to know who you're going up against. You know if it's a punch-up, you're going to have to be efficient and make sure you're getting fights in that you know are going to be safe if you're playing for the one-shots. I feel like if you're punching up all the time, Sus needs to come to offense because it gives you so much more flexibility, and then you are guaranteeing you can one-shot every single room because you can one-shot any Sus team with a Sus of your own. So I feel like Super Scroll on offense is a shoe-in, like without a doubt, a shoe-in to use. And I think Juicy agrees with me on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, again, it goes back to power level. For me, since I'm punching up like a million every fight, you have to have sus on offense. It's just what it is. I mean, I didn't get up here this high, playing off my defense, right? Because they're going to be punching down 1 million. I'm going to be punching up a million. My biggest thing is just try to play perfect, try to go 6 for 6 and hope my opponent drops something. There, I mean, sometimes I'm just like, hopefully their game just crashes because that's all the way I'm gonna win. But and then also knowing this meta right now, we're in a very offensive heavy meta, and so you can put up 1 million, million and a half punch ups on a lot of these defenses. Even the meta defenses lose, right? Superior 6 will lose to a Superior 6 on offense if you play it correctly. You can punch. I mean, I punched up they had a 3.3 million extreme and superior 6 with vulture still won, and mine's only 1.8 ish. So just knowing that these teams can punch up so high uh, gives you a lot more of a fighting chance if you're the little guy, um, and just knowing that. But at the same time, that means that defensively, your defenses just aren't holding as strongly, especially if you're the smaller player.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why offense, like we're in a big offense meta, like you said, just focusing on offense if you're going to be punching up a lot is going to be your number one. Don't worry about like having a bigger defense, like a different, that kind of stuff is not going to change too much. The offense is going to be the main component of it. But yeah, those are going to be tips that we got for Cosmic Crucible. So obviously, Juicy, an amazing guy, incredible at Cosmic Crucible. Dude's doing like ridiculous 1.4 million punch-ups daily on his YouTube channel. Please go check him out. I can't recommend him enough, honestly. His content's also getting better and better as he's making more as well. I've seen the improvement, Juicy. I'm very proud of you. But until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, y'all.